Howdy y'all, welcome to Adventures of Kendall. And I'm here in Pinedale, California to tell you the unique story of this part of Fresno County. This is Pinedale, a small neighborhood within the city of Fresno, California. Pinedale was established as a company town for the Sugar Pine Lumber Company on March 24th, 1923. This town was laid out on the east side of the lumber mill built by the Sugar Pine Lumber Company. The mill was considered the largest and most modern mill of its time. If you want to learn more of what a company town is, check out my video about Eagle Mountain, California. It's a great way to learn how companies build their towns. Pinedale was one of two towns founded by the Sugar Pine Lumber Company, the other being Central Camp, which we'll cover in a future episode. With the knowledge that the lumber industry was looking for a new site for a bigger and better sawmill, a competition was triggered between Fresno and Madera counties to be the selected location for this mill. In Fresno County, community leaders led by J.C. Faulkner developed a plan to attract the mill. This plan included a land donation and financial incentives. This paid off because Fresno's efforts turned the former parent colony number 2 into the mill and town site of Pinedale. And with that, the mill finally opened in Fresno County in 1923. After operating for only 8 years, the lumber mill closed in November 1931. If you want to learn more about the Sugar Pine Company's operations, check out our video on Railroad Adventures of Kendall about the Minarets and Western Railroad. 6 years later, in 1937, Cecil White purchased 68 acres of the lumber company land and built a cotton processing site where they compressed harvested cotton into bales for textile production. This new company was called the Valley Compress Company and employed a number of people from Pinedale. This company would later become Calcott. After the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, the site was leased to the United States military in 1942 to become a temporary detention center or assembly camp. 13 assembly camps were constructed at various racetracks, fairgrounds, and labor camps, including the Fresno Fairgrounds. These camps were designed to confine Japanese Americans until more permanent camps like Manzanar and Tule Lake were built. The peak population at this camp was 4,792. The first detainee arrived on May 7th, 1942, and the last one departed on July 23rd. After the last detainee left, the U.S. Army found a new use for the site with the creation of Camp Pinedale on August 1st, 1942. Camp Pinedale was the home of the Western Signal Aviation Unit, the only post in the Air Force that trained and prepared signal aviation units for overseas movement. By the war's end, 25,000 soldiers were trained as Air Force signal technicians. Also trained there were electronics specialists, Allied Army assignments, clerks, truck drivers, chemical warfare specialists, camouflage specialists, ordnance technicians, and cooks. The camp was deactivated on February 1947, and the Corps of Engineers assumed custody and disassembled the camp. Afterwards, Calcott leased the property to the Ventilator Company, which manufactured a variety of metal products, primarily soda vending machines. The Vindel Company would later purchase the site in 1963 and occupy it until mid-2005. Today, Hindel is a small neighborhood within the city of Fresno. If you pass through this neighborhood long enough, you may find bits and pieces of this town's history. Some of these houses may have been the original homes that were built during the days of the Sugar Pine Lumber Company. But it's not just homes that are historic. Some businesses here have a bit of history too. Let's check out Creative Tile. Built in 1922, this building has the stage for when this place was a dance hall in the late 1950s and a rec hall in the 60s and 70s. And judging by the posters and piano on stage, it's a great piece of Pinedale history. Especially when Bob Hope came by and entertained the troops here at Camp Pinedale. And here is the old Pinedale Water Tower. If you look at old pics of the Pinedale Lumberyard, you'll see this thing in the background. Just below the water tower is a Remembrance Plaza. Although the historical site has been cleared of all original buildings, in this plaza are plaques dedicated to the entire history of Pinedale, from the Sugar Pine Lumber Company to the Japanese Assembly Center and Camp Pinedale. Buried beneath the fountain is a capsule containing items from the original mill, Assembly Center, and Camp Pinedale, thus providing a heartbeat from the past for the memorial. And that is where we'll end the story of Pinedale. Like and subscribe for future videos. See you later, folks, and may your gifts bless the world.